Going on, guys? Welcome to Orm's Forum. Today in today's video, we're going to be talking about MCDC Motor City Dan Campbell. Okay, just off the record right away. No notes. I did no notes today on this one. Usually, I have a notebook in front of me, and you always see me glaring down, and I'm talking about things. But this one is strictly from the heart, stomach, maybe even a little bit up here. So we could be in trouble if it's up here. Just kidding. But yeah, no notes. So this one's strictly from just my point of view. What's going on with Motor City Dan Campbell and our colorful head coach. That's what he is. Now you guys all know who Dan Campbell is. Obviously, I don't. Played tight end in the NFL, played for the Giants, the Cowboys, went to a Super Bowl with the Giants, lost against the Baltimore Ravens. I believe it was the Ravens, yeah. And my Giants got throttled in that game. Played for Detroit Lions, obviously. He's part of that 0-16 team. Played for the Saints too, but they won a Super Bowl with him on that roster, but he was on IR, I believe. And I don't even know if he even got a ring for that, but whatever. He was on that team, but he was on IR, I believe, and so. But whatever, we're not talking about that. But then he went on to coach in the NFL. Coach for the Miami Dolphins, became a tight end coach. Then became interim head coach in Miami. Went 5-7, I believe. He went 5-7. Took a really bad Miami team and won a few games. Kind of got a little bit of recognition there. Being a tough coach, but a player's coach, just like one of the guys, football guy. Kind of got noticed, Sean Payton probably obviously knew him from I think the Dallas days, because the Dallas days and the Saints days, whatever he was part of, and he asked Dan Campbell to become the tight ends coach and assistant head coach in New Orleans. A lot of people don't realize that he was just not a tight ends coach, and a lot of people just like to say, well, it's just the title, so so people don't take him off the roster, and that's true to an extent, where other teams can't hire somebody if they're a specific title. But Sean Payton has a good eye for coaches, I believe. I really think he does, and Dan Campbell came over as a really good tight ends coach and made him his assistant coach. So obviously they're going to give that guy that title too, because they have respect for that said coach. So and he goes on and becomes our head coach in Detroit. Now a lot of fans were like, who? Because a lot of people don't remember the 0-16 team. People remember it. People want to just forget about it. And a lot of people don't remember Dan Campbell as a football player. Now, when we first hired Dan Campbell as a coach, I was, for a couple seconds, I was like, who, man? Dan Campbell? Oh, like that Dan Campbell? Okay, I'm like, oh, okay. All right. Not on board, not off board, not totally against it, not for it. Because you have to realize, man, nobody's lining up to be the Detroit Lions head coach. No one's lining up to come here to be a player. It's just fact. That's just fact. So everyone's like, man, go get Bill Cowher. Go get him out of retirement. Go dig up Vince Lombardi out of a grave, and let's bring him in. Let's bring in Andy Reid. It's like stuff doesn't compute sometimes with certain Lions fans. We have to get who wants to come here, and Motor City Dan Campbell wanted to come to Detroit. Now, I'm not throwing any shade. I'm not talking crap about Dan Campbell, saying that, we just got the worst head coach in the world, because I don't think we did, because I don't know too much yet. I know in Miami, talked to a lot of Miami fans. A lot of Miami fans wanted Dan Campbell to be rehired as the head coach, but Adam Gase came in. And we all saw what Adam Gase did to the Miami Dolphins. A lot of fans wanted Dan Campbell back as their head coach. Never happened. Goes on to New Orleans. rest is history. So I'm just trying to talk about what's going on in Detroit with Dan Campbell. And I'm all over the place. I got no notes here, so bear with me. When Dan Campbell came here, I believe they hired the head coach first here. Then they hired the GM, I think. Okay? You don't see that a lot. You don't really see that much. Usually the GM is a big part of hiring the head coach. Okay? That usually happens, but it has happened in the past. Like the Browns did it with Stefanski. There's other teams, I think Vrabel in Tennessee, I'm pretty sure. There's been teams that have done it, that have gone the different approach. Hiring a head coach first, then you go seek out the GM. But it's not something that really happens a lot. It doesn't happen much. You know, and then when Detroit does it, all of a sudden it's an SOL thing. You know, meanwhile, people just are ignorant and lazy. They don't want to do any research, and they just choose to say SOL off anything. It's the same thing with the Sewell thing, with left tackle or right tackle, left tackle, whatever we're doing here. Everyone just says it's SOL. Meanwhile, multiple teams have done it, but that's not what the video is today, but you guys get what I'm trying to say. Dan Campbell comes here. They mesh him with Brad Holmes. They apparently have the same style of football that they want to run for the rest of their tenure. You know, I think Campbell was signed to 6 years and Holmes to 5 or vice versa, whatever it was. That means that this organization knows that this roster is garbage. So they came in here knowing that this roster is terrible. If you listen to Dan Campbell's press conference, okay? The kneecap biting, the getting knocked down, dragging, getting up, we're going to punch you back in the face, we're going to do this, we're going to claw at you. While you beat the living daylights out of us, we're going to fight back. Listen to that press conference. Go back and listen to that press conference. He is clearly stating he knows this roster is garbage juice. Clearly, he says it. He couldn't say it any more than if he just came out and said it. He might as well just said, I know this roster sucks. But that's not what coaches do. It's not what GMs do. You know, they coach speak. They say certain things like we need a lot of work here. We need to fix some things in the. It's all coach speak. They're not gonna come out and say it. Garbage juice and all that stuff. I mean, Dan Campbell might though one day. Dan Campbell, like that guy is transparent as I've ever seen in my life. That's a whole other story though. But he came into this roster, came to this team knowing that this roster sucked. It's a bad roster. It's a bottom 3 roster. Okay? Now I said we were going to win 4 to 5 games this year. I stuck at 5-12. I don't think we're going to win another game this year. To tell you the truth. I really don't now. I don't expect them to win a game. I don't. That's what it's come down to now. Now it's been a month of the Detroit Lions watching this team. They are so devoid of talent. It's insane. Now you got guys on Twitter, social media, Facebook, wherever you want to go on, YouTube, calling for Dan Campbell's head, which I think is the stupidest thing I've ever seen or heard in my life. Knowing that this roster is terrible. You can go get Andy Reid and Bill Belichick to come in here. Go dig up the grave of Vince Lombardi. They're not changing the wins and losses here. It's all L's coming for the next couple years. 2 to 3 years. Buckle up. So calling for Dan Campbell's head as Lions fans just shows how much of a casual you are. It really does. I'm not personally attacking anybody here. I'm just attacking some Lions fans that are trying to call for his head. Nobody or no one right now, this second, is saving this roster. Nobody. It is such a bad roster. It just keeps getting worse. Now we got guys going down. Now we got guys getting hurt. Decker hurt. Ragnow on IR now. Sewell looks like he's going to miss some time. Rest in peace, Jared Goff. Okay? Rest in peace, Jared Goff. I actually feel a little bit for him now, knowing that he had to come from LA to come to this dumpster fire and witness this. I feel for the kid, kind of. And I've always been the guy that was like, I never feel sorry for multi-millionaire dollar athletes. I can't ever feel sorry for it, but I kind of feel for the kid a little bit. Because he has gotten himself in a situation that he probably can't wait to get out of. And I personally think he's a bridge quarterback anyways, so it doesn't even matter. He is gonzo next year or the year after. And personally, I don't think Brad Holmes gives a damn about any cap casualty or any kind of like cap number at this point. He's probably not going to. He's probably going to try to unload players and take that hit. Because if you wait a year longer, that means that player gets a year older. And sometimes their value could go lower. The NFL is a weird, tricky sport. One day you're great, the next you're not. You see it. You see it. You literally can see the difference sometimes in players. I'm all off track, but who cares? I'm just spitballing here. Just trying to say, man, we have to have some patience. I know, like, with the fourth down and Dan Campbell going for it on every fourth down, I think he's gone for it all. It feels like, Jack Fox has obviously punted the ball, but if Dan Campbell gets beyond the Lions 35-40, he's going for it. He doesn't even have to be in his opponent's territory to go for it anymore. He's going for it because, and I have a few theories here, and probably one of them is going to ruffle some feathers. A, he doesn't trust anything to do with his kicker. That's probably not true. You can't win football games kicking field goals, though. We already know that. We've already seen that through the years. That's just common knowledge. You don't win football games kicking field goals. This isn't high school. You have to put it in the end zone. I don't think it's a kicker thing, even though we're rifling through kickers like crazy. I think we're on our fourth kicker now. Whatever we are, Ryan Santoso. I don't think he's ever kicked a 35-plus yard field goal in his life. He's only been in the league a few years, played with Tennessee, Carolina. I don't even know if he even attempted anything with Tennessee. And Carolina, not much. So I don't think it's a kicking thing, though. I really don't. So that's A. B, it could be his defense. He has no faith in his defense whatsoever to make a stop. And I kind of get that in a way. I do. Even though I think that some of his in-game decisions, especially against the Bears, needed to be heavily criticized. And it was my first time really heavily criticizing him. I thought he should have kicked it I would have took the field goal when it was 14-0 to make it 14-3, just to get on the board, just to get your offense a little bit up, a bit, as much as they can. They've already been down there 2-3 times, fumbling the ball. Just kick the field goal, okay? Get the points on the board, get the boys up a little bit, get some confidence instilled. And then late in the game when they were down by 10 with under 5 minutes to go, I know you have to get the touchdown. I get that. I really do get that. But kick the field goal. You get within 7. You have 2 timeouts left. Try to play some defense. Chicago did punt the ball 3 times that game. So it's not like Chicago was completely shredding us. On the ground they were. And that's what they were going to probably attempt to do to make us burn our timeouts. But you never know. Never take the opportunity out of your teammates, out of your players' hands. Because once they stop you on 4th down and under 5 minutes, the game was done. You've seen people leaving the stadium. All you saw was the back of Lions jerseys walking up the stands, leaving the game. So it's done. Now you don't even have a shot. At least if you try to kick a field goal and you miss it, oh well, you tried to get within 1 possession. That's what you should do. And I thought Dan Campbell should have been heavily criticized for that, and he was. It went so far, though, that people were calling for his job, which is one of the reasons why I made this video, because I think it's ridiculous. But you're a head coach. He should know better, but there's lots of things going on. Now, My last theory, this is the one that's probably going to ruffle a lot of feathers, and I actually hate myself for even thinking about it. I really do. And Antonio Hightower from ISN, Infinite Sports Network, in our group, said this beautifully a few podcasts ago. You know, I've been back to work, so it was a little bit on Micro Mike's channel, OPP. Strategically losing. That's what he said. That's what the Lions are doing. They're strategically losing. What that means is tanking. Okay? And I actually hate it. Actually makes my stomach makes me it makes me a little bit ill even thinking about it. Because I hate the word tanking. Even though I think it's real in the NFL, even though I kind of have a hard time believing it is, I think it's a real thing. Now, I'm not saying Dan Campbell is 100% doing it. I'm just saying that it could be a possibility. Now, who they are targeting in this draft, in 2022 draft, is beyond me. There's not really any clear-cut number one guy right now. There's guys like quarterback-wise, I love Malik Willis from Liberty. That's my guy. That's who I want. I don't want Spencer Rattler. I don't want Riddler later on. I don't want Sam Howell. I don't want those guys. Carson Strong is kind of a guy that I do like a little bit more. He's probably my number two right now behind Malik Willis. I love Malik Willis. But is he worth the number one? And that's just quarterbacks. Now, you're not taking a wide receiver up top there. Because we are going to have a top two pick. It just all depends who wins the game more, Jacksonville or us. Houston could be in there too. Now, do you take a Kayvon Thibodeau, the defensive end out of Oregon? Do you go for LSU Derek Stingley? Do you draft a safety that high, Kyle Hamilton, who I think is a unicorn at safety, special. So is Stingley, so is Thibodeau. Will Anderson, if he's coming out, the linebacker from Alabama, a lot of people have not put him, I haven't seen his name up there a lot in a lot of boards, early boards right now, which is kind of surprising. He's an absolute stud, by the way. Will Anderson. Check him out, Alabama. Defensive end linebacker. He is a monster. Now, I don't know who, if they are strategically losing, tanking, who are they going for? Now, I don't know if they're doing that, but some of the decisions that Dan Campbell is making are extremely questionable, and it's like you have to kind of think about what they're trying to do. And the thing is, Brad Holmes must be on board with it, because these two guys came out literally months ago and said that they literally share the same brain when it comes to football, when it comes to football knowledge, when it comes to what they want to accomplish. So Brad Holmes has got to be on board with all these fourth down and going for it. He has to be. If not, then there's trouble looming in Detroit. And I'm not trying to start anything. Because I haven't heard a thing about it. I think they're both on board. This is what they want to do. Now, look at what Brad Holmes has done. Releasing guys, trying to trade people. They just got rid of Jamie Collins, ate some of that money. They're going to be eating some money this year and next. Everyone's like, no way that those guys are going to get released. No way they're going to get traded because of the cap hit. Like I said in this earlier video, Brad Holmes does not give a damn about that right now. I don't think he does. They tried to trade Jamie Collins, couldn't do it. Nobody really wants to trade for a 32-year-old aging, regressing linebacker. So I think that was tough from the get-go. And where does he go? He goes back to the New England Patriots. The only team that he would go to, or he'd be sitting on a couch watching football every Sunday, just like the rest of us. But the purpose of this whole video is what's going on with Dan Campbell a little bit. I think a lot of it's overblown by Lions fans. This is a bottom 3 roster, possibly worse. Could be the worst roster in the NFL. Now you got injuries going on like crazy. Like all our starters are just going down. I don't see a win in the horizon. And this is no hot take. This is no, oh man, look, Mark's just being negative. It's not that. It's just this team is just not that good. And then you add injuries to it. Good luck. It's just, it gets worse. It's getting worse. It can't get much worse. It can't get much worse. Even Hawkinson didn't practice again, but I think they're just trying to protect him. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? I wouldn't be surprised he goes down too. It's just the way it is, man, right now. But I think the calling for Dan Campbell's head is ridiculous. You have to actually do a little bit of football work, a little bit of football research on how bad this team really is. And all the people that say all this are all the people that think that we're going to win 15 games, think that we're going to make the playoffs. Hopefully, this wakes you up a little bit. Like, I just don't see where a win's coming. I'm sorry, but we have to be patient with Dan Campbell. He even came out after and was questioned by the fourth down, going for it twice against the Chicago Bears. He said, we're practicing it more. This is what we're going to do. So he's not going to come out and trash his defense. I don't think he would. He might, but he's not going to throw his players under the bus. Kind of did a little bit with Jamie Collins, though, but he kind of threw a backhanded comment in the same breath, saying, he's not a high effort guy, but then he can say, hey, he does a lot of things that a lot of linebackers can't do in the NFL. And so, but he's extremely transparent. So, and it looks like it's getting to him a little bit. Even in his last press conference after that game, he looked weathered. He doesn't look like the same after being here for 4 games. He's been here longer, obviously a month, but 4 games, it's taken a toll on him already. You could see it in his press conference. His hat's all this way. His shoulders are all shrugged up. He just looks like he looks like he's turned from 45 years old to like 57 in over a month of losing. So I don't know if he's the guy. So far he is the guy. He's our coach. I'm not calling for his head. I don't think he should be replaced, because who are you replacing him with? Anthony Lynn? Come on. This is a process. This is 2021's a wash. 2022 is going to be a wash. 2023, I think, is the time where we can start making some progress. And when I say progress, I mean wins. I already thought we made some progress already. Just the way they fight for their head coach. They fight for Dan Campbell. They never fought for Patricia. They fight for Motor City Dan Campbell. That's progress. And I know everyone's like, well, those are little moral victories. I'm not talking about moral victories. I'm just talking about progress. It's going to be a work in progress too. It's going to take time. This is going to be a 3 to 4 year build. We are not good. We won't be good next year, and we probably won't be good in 2023. Well, we'll be hopefully better, and we can start making some wins. And I'm talking, when I say wins in 2023, I mean like 5 or 6. I don't mean like 10, 11, 12. Make noise, and then 2024 should be the goal. 2024 should be the goal on where you can make the playoffs, contend for the NFC North, all that. I want to get better as every year goes on, of course, but this roster is so devoid of talent. We don't have a choice but to be patient with Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes. Multiple picks coming, lots of money. You're going to have to, that's going to be tough too. Convincing other football players to come here for a build. That's hard. It's a little bit easier in baseball. Football, I don't think it is, because the window is so much smaller. The window is so much smaller. It's hard to convince football players to come to a bad organization. You might have to overpay. And I don't think Brad Holmes wants to do that. He doesn't want to give anybody the bag. Yeah, he's going to have to start paying some money out to some people, but he doesn't want to make it a common thing. So patience, Lions fans, with this organization. Patience with Dan Campbell. I know it's tough. I criticized him hard over that last game. I did, and I have no regrets about it. I really think he should have kicked the field goal, get on the board, do yourself a favor, and try to win football games. I don't really think I'm not saying he tried to tank, but it's something out there. It's something to think about. It's just something to think about. I'm not saying they're trying to lose, man. I'm not saying they're trying to lose, but it's something that's like, it's almost doesn't make any sense why you wouldn't try to kick the field goal and try to get within one possession with under 5 minutes to go. But that's the video, guys. Have some patience. Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes, we need it. Thanks for the video, guys. Boom, let's go. Don't forget to subscribe on the bottom right. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, get all my videos, and don't forget to like and comment. Let's get some comments on this one. Go Lions. Boom.